time. Okay, I still have to turn Twitch on, which I can't do until you do the thing. There we go. Now I have Twitch up.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Drew.
Oh,
Currently no music because I haven't gotten there yet. Sorry.
I don't see the chat. There it is. Yeah, monster doesn't look like much yet, but it is time to start properly dialing in the likeness today.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And in other channel news, I won't be showing it, but I have cast the very first goblin. Next up for casting is going to be the Bat Child. Here, I didn't even know this thing had volume.
It do.
Bat Child. Yes, that should be an amusing one. I still have some more cleaning up to do on that sculpt. And I am going to have to figure out something with the teeth to make it more moldable.
I mean, it does look like you've gotten fairly far on getting it to be a likeness.
It still needs
see it. Like, obviously, there's so much more to do, but I can see it.
It still needs a lot of tweaking and adjusting. But once we get the basic proportions started, hey Payne, started to finish out, then it will be time to start adding the personality. And I always find that's where the likeness really starts to take off. Have something with someone's very exact features, and it's not going to look like them if the personality is wrong. So I'm not going to worry too much about making sure that my largest proportions are exactly correct, which might seem a little counterintuitive, because you do always want to start with kind of your bigger forms and get things sorted in that way before you move on to details. But I find it, especially with portrait that's a bigger, kind of a bigger gesture, the way this one's going to be, until you get some more of these smaller shapes started, it's very difficult to evaluate your largest proportions. So obviously we used the dividers, these fun little guys, to set most of our proportion. And we can double check those, just kind of make sure things are where they belong, give or take.
Do you need a drink?
Yes, thank you.
Pepsi?
Yes, please. So right now it's looking like the head is just a little too short. And that appears to be mostly in the hair. Let's make sure we have space for that. Yes, we do. Thank you, Finest. Looks like we will have just space for the hair. So we enjoy a top up of Poopsie in our Poopsie and a mummy.
Okay, I will be right back.
Okay. We may end up needing to lower this just a little as we kind of run short on space. Sounds like this thing might be making some noises.
Hey.
So what are you working on tonight?
I am applying underlays transfers.
Yeah. Gonna get some shit out the wet box.
I am getting shit out of the wet box, yes.
Ooh. So we're gonna have a kiln to run this weekend as well. Not sure if the new goblin will make it into that kiln.
Might not be dry enough.
It'll be dry enough, but it might not have room in that kiln.
Yes.
Yeah, how is the stream looking, everybody? We have some.
Oh, yeah. I've been asking my computer to do intensive things, so if anybody is experiencing any downtime or anything, let me know.
Probably not going to fix it, but but you
Not
know.
gonna do anything about it, but please do let me know. Well,
Take a quick pass at just bringing some of these shapes together.
everybody ran away.
I have done.
Hopefully they just ran away and it's not that our stream died.
Oh yeah. I forgot that was a thing that was possible. Definitely.
Anybody listening out there?
Definitely sounds like Chewy
Say
ran.
hi in the chat.
Oh, Pain's
No
there.
problem. Thanks, Payne. That's all we needed to know.
Yep.
Part of me is like, I should go upstairs and grab my tripod and actually record this.
You don't need to go upstairs and grab your tripod.
You have an empty tripod?
There's a tripod right over there. Look for the green duffel bag thing.
Yep.
It's right behind that.
Oh, even with a camera. Or a phone there.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Oh, that's good. Yes, I think uh, preparations are being made for, I guess, denazifying storage or something.
Yes. Pretty much.
So this is a particularly good tool, I find, for smoothing and bringing shapes together while being a fairly coarse rake. And it is a twisted wire. It's twisted round piano wires that are set in these little brass tubes for extra stiffness. Made by Old Man's Trusty Shop. Whereas for shaping, I like one of these bladed rakes. Now, one thing I was really not able to find was a good. Oh, did you? Yeah, our stream time is a little late sometimes.
What happened?
Payne fell asleep toward the end of the last stream.
Oh.
But yeah, one. Oh yeah, that's still a thing. So one thing that I haven't been able to find is a lot of good images of the count from the side. So we are having to make some inferences. I found a couple of images, but they're pretty rough. So one thing that you can do if you find that you don't have a view that you kind of need is you can try and make uh, some educated guesses. Take, for example, the shape of the bridge of the nose. It's kind of difficult to determine that without being able to see a side profile. Um, So when that happens, I might flip through my other views and my other references and look for things like shadow shapes. Because that can kind of give you an idea of, say, the depth between the bridge of the nose and the side. And it's also good to look at these shapes beside the nose. See how full that is? You can to a certain degree. Oh, you found a side view? I've got a couple like 3/4. I do have one side view. Um, it's just quite small. And a lot of the images were taken from the actual, the actual show. So there's a lot of like motion blur and the the refresh rate on old TVs was not super high. So when you have some older reference like this, you kind of have some shaky stuff. It's little I don't know. It's a Bigfoot footage going on. But it's good to understand how to work around these things. One thing that is going to be interesting with this character, I will say, he is painted on extensions to the eyebrows. And I don't mean like made the hair longer or anything, but like he has his eyebrow line going, which appears to be more or less where his eyebrow is. That's actually a little up. But then we have this sort of like triangle Halloween brow painted on. Um, all right. Well, thanks, Payne. I will look at it. I will look at it if needed, but I'm gonna try and soldier through with what I had. Um, because we don't always have what we could really use. And it might be useful for someone. That came out well. Do you want to show off your work?
In case anybody's curious what I'm up to.
Is anybody curious about cleaning up your fingernail marks?
Okay, that's to indicate the halfway point.
Oh, was it?
That was on purpose.
It was an on-purpose fingernail
That
mark?
was an on-purpose fingernail mark for once.
Yeah.
Underglaze decal.
Underglaze decal with added special bonus.
Yes.
Keep it
So I
round
don't accidentally
balloon.
squish the mug while I'm doing it.
Which that's a good technique that seems to be working out for you.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, so basically you make like a temporary tattoo with underglaze and then you stick it on the mug and then you don't have to hand draw everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to be super anal retentive.
Yes.
About crisp lines.
You
I
do.
love it.
She do and she does.
Maybe I'll even get brave enough to do my own stream. Do stuff like put it on handles
You could do a stream.
or like apply transfer.
Maybe I'll get sick sometime and you'll need to do a stream.
Maybe.
Did you ever think about that?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Maybe chat could keep demanding it. Just spam the comments with pie stream. Um,
Even one business daddy stream would be more business or more streams than I've done in the past.
Tell you, just keep spamming pie stream.
Maybe. But yay, that worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
So I am going to.
Did you make these speckle books? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, as we discussed.
Okay.
Why I was asking about what shape speckle mark you want.
Yes. I forgot.
So I have a suspicion that the nose that I have right now is a bit too short. Not too short from the bridge to the tip, but doesn't protrude outward enough.
Okay.
And I am able to infer that from a couple of shots where there's a strong shadow underneath the nose. And also the fact that there is very little shadow that occurs here at the top of the nose bridge. You could try and make some guesses based on anatomy. But I would call that a last resort kind of thing. Because there is a ton of variation in faces, even within perfectly normal average ranges. I could take a guess based on the sort of broad shape of the tip of the nose and the breadth of the bridge of the nose. That this person doesn't have a really protruding nose. You don't tend to see that as often. even real experts at that sort of thing don't tend to have the most for sure idea. But when you do have to make guesses, my recommendation is always make your guess, don't overthink it, and then evaluate what it looks like. And be prepared to make adjustments. So I am going to build this nose out. I'm not going to build it out too far because the image that we have, let's see, it's the same. I can use the same one. The same one that's on stream there. Excuse me, gotta sneeze. Dab it. I can see based on the shadow underneath the nose that the tip of the nose doesn't stick out like a huge amount past the nostrils. It doesn't, I don't see any light catching on the upper surface, and I don't see any light catching, and I don't see, I'm not seeing a shadow. Let me grab a marking tool here. So I'm seeing a shadow that kind of has this kind of a shape. If the tip of the nose were significantly further out than the nostrils, I would expect to see that reflected in that shadow, and also some light catching there. I'm not ready to cheat yet. Like I said, I do have a rough image that I can look at, but I'm going to see how close I can be just based on the information that I'm having. No, I haven't yet. I'm doing this exercise. We're having a guessing game. Because I want to see if anybody, or I want to put the information out there if it's useful for someone at some point. I
said beauty.
Are you still impressed with your...
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to give myself a little smoothening here. To hopefully consolidate some of these shapes a little.
Did you send them just to him, or did you send it to both of us?
She sent it just to you.
Oh, just to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is another reason why I haven't referenced it. But
oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't get notifications of Facebook messages. It don't tell me nothing. Oh wow. Okay.
But again, we're guessing. We're not going to cheat and look at the answers yet.
I'm not allowed to show you these.
No. The whole point.
Yeah.
We can see how close.
Okay. I think some of those were new.
Yeah, I do have my phone for reference when I'm sculpting. And I do have lots of other images that I can refer to. I have a folder of about I think it's 25 or 30 images. The quality is not the best, and I don't have a really good profile. But I do find that I often don't have a really good profile. So I'm going to attempt to clean up this eye socket shape just a little, because that often helps. When I'm trying to evaluate something, fixing up areas around it. But yeah, when you yeah, I mean, some of them are uber grainy, some of them are a little blurry, some of them are quite small. You know, they're reference images. It is what it is. Yeah, those are definitely I think there is almost a small kind of prominence right around in this area, and then a bit of a hint of a kind of dimple or an indent to the side. And as far as I know, the Count's nose is just a flat green overall pancake makeup. He does have some darkening around the eyes and the eyelids. You can definitely see that he has a relatively, his eyes are fairly prominent. His lids, upper lids are pretty heavy. So this area above the fat pad above the eyelid is reasonably full and prominent. Don't be alarmed, all the farting noises you're hearing are balloon related. I also note that the indent at the wings of the nose isn't super prominent. You see with some people they'll have like a really deep crease here. He doesn't really seem to have that. There's certainly a bit of an indent there, but it's not as harsh as with a lot of people's. There's a little bit of shape here at the side of the nose. For sure. Okay. Another thing that I can see, because this image isn't exactly straight on, I can see that there isn't anything, there isn't much hidden on this side of the nose. So if the nose was really big and prominent, you would expect that to cover some, even at that shallow angle. I may need to pull his eyes forward just a scooch, I think. But I'm going to go ahead and check the nose before I do that. I feel like this is probably in the neighborhood. A little bit straighter nose bridge. A little broader through here. Yeah, well, just in case I guessed way wrong with the nose, and need to shave that whole area down. And check that before I go ripping eyes out. Just clean that shape up. And then maybe if we want to reference that image y'all keep talking about. We'll see if I'm in the neighborhood. Do you want to put it up on the screen?
What am I putting on the screen?
The side image that we've been talking about for.
Did you want to see them first and pick which one?
Oh, is there a bunch of them?
There's like 4 there.
Nope, that one's looking down. That's the same one I already have. That was the poster one. That was the poster one again. You know what? I have one that's closer, but it is really blurry. And I believe that one is looking slightly past. Straight. Let me see. I can point this guy at
That's
the
a
camera.
shitty picture.
Well, yes, but it's at least the position is right.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like there's a small indent here. If you want to put up any of the pictures, there's
Yeah,
more or less to this side. It's fine.
Go on and take a look at it.
And then it's just possibly ever so slightly convex. Also think the nose tip is just slightly more this way.
My computer's
Occupied.
riding struggles.
For yeah, we have
Oh.
All right, we are definitely going to want to move the eyes forward a little bit. The nose wasn't a million miles off in terms of shape. I'm actually going to try and bring this whole section. I can definitely feel there's some weak spot in the way that I'm in this neck too.
What does that mean?
That the head's gonna fall off if I'm not careful with
Ah,
how I pull on it.
let's not do that.
I mean, the head's coming off at some point. We all know this.
It's tradition at this point.
It is tradition at this point. Well, and he's gonna need to have his position changed up. Just pop that eye forward a little. Touch. Just take it right out. Take that bugger right out.
Need to go upstairs first.
It's for science. That looks a bit closer. Out. Add a little bit of padding in the back. Oh, it needs just a little bit more. Sometimes it's good to kind of look down on the head. See if I can get this in the camera. So you can see the eyeballs.
So what are you looking for?
I'm looking for the eyes to be the same depth inside the head.
Uh, that's really hard to tell.
It is really hard to tell, but it takes a lot of practice. So it needs just that little tiny bit. But yeah, there's always time to move things, even if it is eyeballs. You don't want to just let stuff sit and stay wrong. I think that's one of the things that takes the longest to learn when you're starting, whether it's drawing or painting or sculpting or anything like that. It's that things need to be edited. You'll very rarely get everything right immediately um, on your first go, even when you've been doing it for a long time, even if you're careful with your measurements, stuff still ends up wanting to be moved. And that feels like a big problem. Um, for a lot of people until it just starts to be part of the process. Um, once you're used to the idea that stuff is gonna need adjusting, everything just gets a whole lot more manageable. Sometimes stuff needs adjusting a bunch of times. And I won't pretend like it doesn't take a lot of practice. to learn how to do these things too, because it does. I don't know if over time the temptation to just leave it and call it fine. I don't know if that decreases. Um, Over time, you just stop noticing that impulse to be like, that's as close as I can make it. Um, but it does seem to people's relationships to making changes in their work do seem to adjust. Um, when you look at someone uh, who's only been making art for a while versus someone who's been at it for forever. Um, you do see a change. As I'm looking at the side view, I can see that this shape wants to adjust. It wasn't so bad. Um, in general, you can make inferences from one side of someone's head to the other with a fairly high degree of certainty. Um, Nobody's head is perfectly symmetrical, and there may be some small um, things that are worth noting um, on particular individuals. Um, for example, Boris Karloff had a pretty prominent um, crease on the right side of his face, sort of under the cheek, beside the mouth, um, that you can see in a lot of his movies pretty well. It's a pretty strong. It's pretty strong in his Frankenstein get up. Um, so obviously, if we only had that that one side view of Boris Karloff, and we just guessed that he was the same on the other side, we'd be wrong. But for the most part, in general, it's safe-ish to do to one side what you did to the other. Uh, think I think we're going to end up needing to make adjustments again, but I feel like I am in a position to start thinking about uh, expression a bit. Um, I can see from this, I've got a 3/4 view. That would be something that would be useful at some point on stream, would be a way to mirror my reference over so that people could just see what I was looking at. Maybe if we got a PC down here to do everything off of. That would be helpful eventually. Kind of screen share it. But I'm flipping through my references, which I would normally recommend. I'm not, despite the fact that we went through the little exercise of trying to guesstimate a nose. That's not the way I would suggest working. There's no need to do that. Flipping through your references is good. No, that thing, I don't even know if that would connect to the internet. The only thing I ever used that old PC for was reference when I was painting. And that was a very bulky photo frame kind of thing. And I only used that actually a very few times because it was tremendously slow. No, if we had a dedicated rig for stream, that would be a thing, but that's not not a priority, something to do. We do okay with what we're rocking. It's interesting. I can see a little bump, deep bump right there in the image. Now, one thing when you are flipping through reference, every once in a while um, you'll find uh, a little thing about someone's face that kind of comes up and disappears um, as their expression changes. Um, like they'll have a dimple or something um, that only shows when they're smiling or something like that. Um, you know, it's you have to be aware of that kind of thing, um, and eventually you will have to kind of choose a dominant reference, but you can bounce around quite a bit and still keep a nice cohesive view or a nice cohesive figure. Um, and I do think that um, the ability to evaluate uh, which aspects of of a character you're going to bring out or which aspects you're going to show. I think we get better at that with time. Um, and I don't know if there's a specific um, best practice or way to like explain how what that is done. Um, because even as long as I've been doing portraits, um, there's a certain aspect of that you're just kind of feeling out every time. Um, I suppose maybe there are people who that's a major part of their practice. They might know. Oh, we have
Oh,
a bot.
do.
Hi, bot.
Bye, bot.
Um, thinking of like the courtroom sketch artists that have to work really, really fast. No, not a good name. Um, they may have some tricks for kind of making a person look like a person. When you're really just recording.
Oh, practice is
Hmm?
courtroom sketches.
It is a little. I will say it definitely feels like it could be problematic. um, you, I've seen some of those some courtroom sketches that look particularly villainous.
Yes.
Um, I mean, he kind of does look like that a little bit, though. And that's a played up version, but Tom Brady got a real long head. He has lurch like features. I don't think they made him look. I mean, clearly they did not flatter with those portraits. I don't think they went out of their way to make him look villainous. Um, but I mean, one could, if one were so inclined. Uh, go out of their way. You know, that would be it would be something that you could do. But, you know, the whole the whole process is very, very imperfect. There's a lot of pretty privilege in criminal proceedings. Just gonna reinforce the neck here. Probably a little too thick, but cross that bridge. I do think I want to, while we're here, while we're at it, let's get a more right thing happening. I think we're going to change that. I think we're going to change that back at some point, but for now, I want to see. I want to see our count looking forward a little bit more. Um, One thing I really enjoy about the count is he takes a very big expression. I don't think he naturally has a wider mouth. Maybe just a tiny bit. Um, kind of the general rule of thumb, and I don't care for rules of thumb when it comes to these proportion, is that the corners of the mouth and the center of the eye kind of line up. Um, that is something that I have seen referenced a lot. And I find it to be true about 55% of the time. Like, it's not wrong per se, but it's.
Do we need a new van?
Do we what?
Do we need a new van?
What is all over it?
I don't know. Figures.
Figures.
Apparently, it's a Toronto icon.
A Toronto icon. You don't say.
Do say.
But in the case of the count, assuredly, Billy Van has a tendency to pull a very wide smile. He really exaggerates the expression in his mouth. And I know whenever I'm doing anything that is based on, an actor's performance, like a character or something, I like to look for things that it appears to me that are a choice on the part of the actor. If I have time and if I can find it and if I can be buggered, I like to watch interviews on occasion, where the actors aren't being their characters, and if I can pick out something that it looks like they're doing um, on purpose in their role. I like to feature that. Um, I think it usually works out. Like you usually get a good idea of the character that way, but feels like a it feels like a thing it feels like a thing to do, you know? Did you get me? You're not paying any attention, are you?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Um, but yeah, it feels like something that is appropriate to do.
And gets it.
Yeah. Um, as you're making, you're not just making a not just making a thing that looks like a person when you're doing a portrait of a character that someone's played. You can kind of document decisions that they've made as well. Um, yeah, you can see the face shapes without the makeup, but um, just in terms of like decision making, if I can pick out something that the actor thought was important about the character, and I can sort of pinpoint that through their yeah, he's got a little contouring, I think. Certainly has done something to enhance the eyelid. Um, but yeah, it's good to I think it's good to look for those aspects of a character that the people presumably who spent a lot more time thinking about that character than I have, what aspects they felt were important. We'll say one consequence of the really broad smile is it really thins the lower lip. It's really stretched. It stretches this hollow beside the mouth a bit too. I think that is. I think that mouth is too low. No. I may even want to, after stream, look up and see if I have any slightly larger eye forms.
Can you complete bouncy balls?
I don't think I can go quite that big. but I might have one size larger in. Yeah, I think those are a step too far. Um, these are pretty close. To the correct size. These are marbles which are slightly bigger than pie weight. But I think they might be ever so slightly smaller than these marbles. So we're talking about a pretty fine distinction. I believe that these are the marbles. Nope, that's the same marble. Nope, that's way too small. They may be the same size as these. We might have some clear marbles that are even slightly bigger. No, those look like they're the same size. These may be the largest marbles I have. There's also a chance that these are about the appropriate size. They just aren't in the appropriate shaped lid right yet. You can see a bit of that a bit of the work that makeup is doing. Um, because he's slightly overlined the eyelids, which does make the eyes appear more prominent for sure. I really like the eyelid, the lower lid where it falls. sort of just slightly below the center line on his eye. Gives him that full-on crazy eye look. Um, and I am pretty sure that that's a caricature choice, character choice for for the count. Um, Several of the characters, it looks like he chose a prosthetic um, to give a heavier lid. And I don't know if that would have been done um, as a means to kind of contrast the count character from some of the other characters, because Billy Van played a lot of the characters. Um, he did the cooking segment, Witch Griselda. Pretty sure he's Dr. Pat Fat. Uh, the fortune teller is him. The librarian, old age makeup, that's him too. Um, and I think all of those have the I don't remember if his Witch Griselda had an enhanced lid. But definitely Dr. Pat Vat. Well, she had a very large chin and nose prosthetic, the kind of standard witch, uh, kind of standard witch thing. Test out the. This is the largest size. Yeah, I think it is. Test out the fingertip. Oh, that's. I wanted to wear it on the thumb or the forefinger. Then I realized I can't pinch off clay. Um, I think there's a Sharpie in the container kind of this way. Yeah, can I have a Sharpie? Thank you. I'm going to try and give an indication of that giant. It's so funny looking at some of these photos because the brow, the paint that they used is clearly just a tiny bit reflective. So it looks like he has one normal brow and one sort of cartooned one. Which is kind of cool. I actually think one of the most uh, one of the pictures that they use of him in the illustrations kind of does that. It uses a shot where the brow kind of disappears on the one side and they kind of don't correct for it, um, which I'm not sure if that's because they didn't notice or if it's because it really does give him kind of an excellent crazy eye. This brow is wet through here. So I think we are starting to get some more likeness going.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet for certainty. I think we're starting to get closer. What do we? Yeah, I guess we do. do wonder what the decision making around the little wispy of hair on the kind of bob haircut sort of outline the cheekbone. Well, no, it's not. It's just the way the hair is combed down,
Mm.
or the wig is combed down. I mean, I'm guessing it's just a kind of a we want a widow's peak because vampire.
Yes.
Um, but we also want to make it, we want some difference going on, and that is very different. It's kind of got a little bit of Misfits hair going.
That.
No, no, I used a little bit of that on my Frankenstein, my mini Frank reboot. No, it doesn't. It doesn't come forward. appears we've only got a couple of minutes left.
Nope.
I think we are experiencing progress.
That's good.
Next week, it's going to be a lot about maybe finding a bit of pose. And maybe starting to think about what we're going to do about that collar. Because that simply won't do.
What, the entire collar?
That entire collar
No.
is not going to be a thing. I mean, that collar is pretty thoroughly ridiculous. It's huge. It's huge and on a tiny cape, which I kind of like. I kind of respect that. I wish I could put some more of that in there because the collar and the cape itself are practically the same size.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
just I don't see how you'd possibly
I
even do
no,
that.
it wouldn't. It would not work. It would not work as a bug. But I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
For tonight.
We will pick it up.
We're going to leave it. We're going to do
Tuesday.
one thing first.
You what?
Now we're going to leave it there for tonight.
Okay. Hey, thanks for coming out.
Yep. I hope
We
you
will
enjoyed
see
the
you next
stream.
Tuesday.
Looks like we got no more height to play with.
Bye.
Bye.